So yeah, I do wonder why is my favorite character.
Have you ever finished a piece of media, an anime?
Is this End Venom? What? Is this End Venom? Nah, or do they just sound similar?
One of the single greatest
Have you ever finished a piece of
achievements in the entire history of Minecraft
Is this just End Venom? What? I guess not. Bro sounds too much like End Venom. Wow. Okay.
media, an anime, a game, a novel? And rather than the plot, it's a character that stuck with you? Maybe you have a variety of reasons. There's something about
Yeah.
the character that reminds you of yourself,
Hey,
or makes
Lottie.
you feel inspired, or they perform their role in the narrative with mastery. My favorite question after a friend has consumed a piece of media I have isn't who's your favorite character, but instead, why is your favorite character?
Asked no one ever, except if your favorite character is arguably not better than my favorite character. Then you are wrong, and you should not have the right to opinion.
Your, favorite character. The question didn't work by itself.
Yeah.
A fictional character on paper is nothing more than an imaginary person created by a real person. Sure, they have a design, personality traits, mannerisms, but a lot of the time, they don't have a tangible voice or hell, in the case of novels, a way to actually see them. They are less of a person and more the idea of a person, the suggestion of a person, and it's the work of you as the audience to interpret and convert that
Why, bro? I still couldn't finish that. Why? I'm so angry.
suggestion into something that feels a little
I
more
couldn't.
real.
I couldn't. I played Persona 4 for one night. That one session was 11 hours long. I don't know up to where I think I saved Yuki or something like that, bro, from something. I don't know. I don't remember. It was long ago, and never played it again. It still haunts me to this day. The save file is there. The emulator is there. The game is there. I am not there. And I played like through the entirety of Persona 4 Arena and Arena Ultimax, and played the first 5 hours of Persona 3 on a road trip on my old MacBook. It barely ran 11 FPS. I loved it.
Is a
And never
very
finished it.
logical way to view fictional characters, and to consider it deeper than that, it would feel, well, in lack of a better term, chronically online, right? 'Cause
Nope.
at the end of the day, these are just fake people made by real people. What if I told you that
The creator of
it's the
Chainsaw
most
Man.
logical
It's,
interpretation? What if I
Bro
told you a
is
study
star.
was done by the
Bro is a
psychology
legend.
departments of both Ohio State University
Ohio, you say? Invalid. Whatever he is about to say in this video, invalid. But Ohio University? Bro, what the
and
fuck?
University
What do
of
they know?
Oregon that shows that your experiences with a suggested person run deeper than you originally may have thought.
Yeah.
In this study, Becoming the King of the North, identification of fictional characters is associated with greater self-other neural overlap, participants did trait evaluations on themselves, friends or acquaintances, and finally to cast a Game of Thrones during the airing of the 7th season. All while undergoing what was functionally an MRI to see what parts of their brain had activity when discussing fictional characters in comparison to real people. What they found was that the ventral portion of the prefrontal cortex had the most notable amount of activity when covering all three of the topics. The part of the brain that, as far as the test was concerned, handles the perception of self and people you know. On a
They actually did science on weebs, bro. What the fuck? Why?
neurological level, your brain can consider fictional characters not only something akin to a friend, but also something akin to being a part of yourself. Your brain
yeah.
processing fictional characters as people makes sense, especially when you consider how much a well-told story can immerse you, or how beautiful animation can take the mental guesswork of how a character moves. Even video games are getting so detailed that fake pores are added to the people that walk the streets of Night City in Cyberpunk. Naturally, the harder to sell idea is that a character can
Cyberpunk's world is so... I don't see Cyberpunk as an open world game. They don't let me explore the mountains. I will die on this fucking hill. But I can't because I can't climb on the hill. Because CD Projekt Red will not let me climb the mountains. And the city is boring.
hold the place of a piece of your identity. And if you're in that camp that finds that hard to believe, do me a favor, stop for a second and consider a character that you main in a video game. Your
Oh, don't get me started on my mains. I will get locked up, probably. In League in particular, every so often, even though I haven't played League in like 4 or 5 months, I still to this day, from time to time, will get an urge to go and play Gwen. top, even though I'm a support main and I play Zeri support and Zoe. But I still get the urge to play Gwen. I don't know, bro. I just like feeling like a cute anime girl on top lane. I don't know.
Main, the character you choose to play as the most, typically in a multiplayer game, is how you interact with your friends and anything else that goes on in the virtual world that the game takes place in. Whether you choose this character due to their gameplay mechanics, character design, personality, or a mixture of all of the above, them being on screen represents who you are.
It's
in
mostly
Marvel
character
Rivals, a
design.
game that I am surprised to find myself playing as often as I do, I almost
50 hours in a game. Puh, peasant. In a multiplayer, puh, peasant. Get out. Point invalid even more than the Ohio one.
exclusively play as a support character, Luna Snow. She's fairly easy to play using primarily hit scan project.
Okay, I never got into Marvel, but who would I play? From these characters here, honestly, probably her, bro. I used to play Clove in Valorant. I don't know why, bro. It was fun. Yeah, or Sage. I like his supports.
Luna Snow. She's fairly easy to play using primarily hit scan projectiles, which helps as I don't normally play a lot of competitive games. Her design is appealing as I tend to gravitate to asymmetrical designs, and in a cast of superheroes, soldiers, and mutants, her being a K-pop performer is just fun. Luna Snow being how I interact with the world of Marvel Rivals has become so synonymous with me as a person that when my friends ask me to play with them, they reference her voice line that she says during her ultimate ability.
I am ready to put on a show.
And just because you main a character, that doesn't mean you don't play as
Seraphim
anyone
clone.
else in the roster. I mean, it does for me. But game
Yeah,
developers
and
know
for
that
me.
there is a correlation
Pretty
of
much.
identity with the characters that you main, which is how a lot of games are able to make money. Rather than selling access to a character, you get to customize them. You can buy different
Yeah.
outfits that make your Luna Snow different from everyone else's. You can get in-game banners, that way even if you aren't playing Luna Snow, she's there representing who you are. This can expand beyond friend groups and impact the community that forms around the game. If you're aware of the Pro Smash scene even a little bit, this Jigglypuff skin pretty much belongs to the individual player of Hungrybox, since this is how he appears when interacting with the series. But even without the perception of others, your main can still hold value. Hell, your interest in a character can be the reason you play the game in the first place. Street Fighter 6 always looked like a solid fighting game, a genre I have a history of giving a firm try with, but it wasn't until I saw Jerry Han that I actively wanted to give
Bro has a type. You asymmetric characters, yeah, bro has a type. And honestly, I agree with him.
a game that I have a lot of love for now a fair shake. Her high-speed rushdown gameplay with a kick-based fighting
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. You have a type. Admit it.
style and punk aesthetic all coalesced into a character that just seemed really cool. I ended up getting the game, learned to play her a little bit, and I became a fan of a series that never really clicked with me before, even liking and playing games without her in it. And Reina from Tekken 8 showcases a reason for me to want to play that game.
Again, proving my point. Bro has a type.
Ignore any implications that these characters are similar.
Yeah. No. You have a type. You have. Admit it. We ain't judging here. Admit it.
Punk character designs with strong personalities, okay?
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
if you have
yeah.
a punk character design and a strong personality, my DMs are open on Blue Sky. But based on how important a game is to you, your main or the character that got you into a series are a part of who you are in some degree.
Man, that goes up to a point. I downloaded Riot's fighting game because I wanted to play Ari in there. I played through the tutorial. I played a whole bunch of 3 matches. I got destroyed. I got annihilated. I nearly broke a controller. And I will never play that game again. Even though the only thing I want to do is just, punch people around with Ari. But I can't. So, fuck you, Riot.
How you actively chose to be represented. While main does, at least in many cases, take root as a part of your identity to whatever degree of importance you have in that game, the way you interact with media isn't what the study meant when it said that consideration for a fictional character is similar to how you consider yourself.
Yes.
Self-reflection begins when you consider how a piece of media interacts with you. Relating to a fictional character isn't some unspoken thing that accidentally happens when an author adds a little too much quirkiness or sadness to a character. A lot of them are designed to be connected with on the grounds of immersing you into the experience.
I mean, I think this guy was pretty blunt.
A lot of visual novels such as dating simulators will give you a mostly plain canvas to project yourself onto since the focus of that game is getting to know
I
others.
hate blank canvas characters. Just why, bro? I can project onto anything. Just make it fun.
Characters and how they interact with you. The Persona series famously has silent protagonists that have suggested personality traits but can be as varying as you would like to play them, especially when it comes to choosing your own dialogue and answers. And this isn't exclusive to interactive mediums, as a lot of shows or other stories will try to give you only as much information as you need to make a character you can put yourself into the role of. Sakakibara is the protagonist of the horror story Another, and one of his more defining traits is an enjoyment of horror novels. So the fact that Another is in itself a horror novel means if you're reading it, well, there's a little bit more of a connection you can make to him while he witnesses a curse that kills his classroom one by one. This method of character creation can be seen as inherently shallow, but it truly is effective. If a story wants to immerse you, it doesn't have to give you a slot to fill, but it helps.
It doesn't matter.
That said, it's when a character was made first, maybe with the right amount of quirkiness and sadness, that relating to them truly makes you self-reflect. Bocchi the Rock, at the peak of its relevance, received accolades on the grounds of how relatable the anime and by extension Hitori Goto was.
Still have to watch Bocchi the Rock, bro. Why? I hesitate because my head hurts when I have to read subtitles, and the monkey language that is Japanese breaks me. But I have watched entire animes that didn't have a dub. I have enjoyed them, but I hesitate to start them. I am somewhere in the middle of Spy Classroom, I think the anime was called. It doesn't have a dub. I'm somewhere in the middle of it, and it's been a year. Or even more than a year by this point. I still remember what's going on. Every other day I have watched countless shows, animes, read things since I started that, and to now I hesitate every single day to go and continue and finish that. One day I will. And one day I will start watching Bocchi the Rock. I know it's big.
To make a crazy assumption and guess that everyone who is saying that they relate to her aren't calling themselves a pink-haired anime girl who's in high school and an indie rock band. Hitori Goto.
They would want to be that.
Goto is relatable because her moments of extreme social anxiety, even as hyperbolic as they are, can hit a little close to home. It's nice to see an aspect of yourself in a character because it makes you feel a little bit less alone. It's validating because it makes you feel seen, and maybe popularity of that character can encourage a little bit of self-confidence. To give a personal example of how impactful this can be, when I was 13, the age that you could use any excuse to have more confidence, I still am short. And because of that easy to notice difference, it felt like a lot of situations regarding other people, my height took place of my identity. It felt like others looked metaphorically and, well, I guess literally down at me. But then, I watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, a show about many things such as the value of family, acknowledging other cultures, and it's complete with all the badass fight scenes and political intrigue that you could ever want in anime. But most important to me, it was a story about a shorter than average protagonist being cool and capable. The protagonist, Edward Elric, was like my idol when I went through.
Bro watched Full Metal Alchemist and thought he was him.
My Full Metal Alchemist phase. And it made me begin to like a part of myself that I used to not. My height wasn't a flaw, it just made me more like the main character of a show I loved.
Yeah.
The idea I was beating around the bush with that story
became
is
the main
idea
character
of representation. And it can be a lot more important than a middle school insecurity. The lens of reality that—
Don't give me representation in media, bro. Because of representation, today's media landscape is fucked. I mean, Japan and anime is still going strong, but Western media, fuck representation, bro. I am represented in K-pop Demon Hunters, bro. Even though I myself, my appearance, my everything is not in there, I feel represented in one of the 4 main chicks, bro. Were there 4? Yeah, I don't remember which one, but I feel represented, and I don't need to be represented. I feel good.
Media portrays is tragically narrow, and so many ways of life, cultures, experiences get left out. There are many stories of people who barely got to see actors who looked like them on TV. People who rarely ever saw their culture represented.
Are you Russian?
Or people who
No. Sadly, I'm not Russian. Really far away from Russia. I'm Slavic though, so that's the letters behind me and the accent. I can do full Russian, but I don't need to. What is the gift? It's Ari getting petted, man. What?
Know how vast their world could be just because
Get
of
educated.
who they loved. Representation.
Wow, what was that? Of watching a show, I was the only lesbian. I knew, however, the character in the show were able to give me an idea of what I meant to be a lesbian.
People who didn't know how vast their world could be just because of who they loved. Representation makes you feel
Representation.
not so alone.
I am not against representation in medium. I'm against representation being the only thing in that piece of media. The only reason for that piece of media existing being a representation. That's what I am against. That's what I hate. So fuck representation. Do representation, but do it good. Don't force it down my throat, man.
That someone has
I
to
can feel
understand to some
represented in a
degree
lesbian
what
story.
you
Yeah, Life is Strange. Life is Strange to this day is my favorite game and one of my favorite stories. I feel with Max. I like the characters, bro. Life is Strange is to this day one of my favorite pieces of entertainment and my favorite game, even though it's not really a game. So, do I have to be a lesbian? No. The
experience
story
on
was
a
good.
daily basis. This hits home even more when you see characters who have shared similar internal wounds. Even beyond
You have to finish
identity,
Cyberpunk
seeing
to
a
watch
character
Edge
who has
Runners.
suffered
Season
trauma
2 is
you
coming.
connect with and seeing their healing journey can make yours feel a little more tangible.
Even though I don't think I need to finish Cyberpunk to be able to watch Edge Runners. I want to finish Cyberpunk before watching Edge Runners one day. One day. I am still stuck. I'm still doing side quests. I'm level 50 and level 50 in street cred. I haven't spent one skill point. I have 15 of them, and Takimura has been waiting for me to break into some security room for 30 hours.
However, it's not just hulking entertainment empires that can create this feeling of validation. People can make their own media to share how they feel or their experiences. And this has led to one of the most popular fictional characters in the modern world.
Miku.
Tell me, what do you know about Hatsune Miku?
That every Miku is canon. So even the Miku I make will be canon.
No, I am not at all joking. To give an example of just how big she is, the website Vocaloid Rankings, which tracks how popular any given character under the Vocaloid umbrella is, says that across YouTube, Nico Nico and Billy Billy, Hatsune Miku across all of her songs has 9 billion views. This also isn't counting the impact that she has through rhythm games such as the Project Diva series, fan-made playable songs in games such as Osu and Beat Saber. She was in Persona 4 Dancing, and if we're bringing collabs into the equation, she had an entire music pass dedicated to her in Fortnite Festival where she has 2 different skins.
Man, I like Miku. I don't really like her music nor listen to it, but I like Miku.
But that's just how popular she is, not why she is so popular. Hatsune Miku is a Vocaloid, a voice bank that is used to make music, sort of like an instrument that can sing words. And it's the songs that people make using the Miku voice bank that turn her from the mascot of a product into a character that millions of people can connect with. Since anyone who can access the Vocaloid software can make a song performed by the very own Hatsune Miku, her likeness covers a wide variety of experiences.
Every Miku
from
is
lighter
canon.
stuff such as Rabbit Hole and World Is Mine, the latter being about a spoiled girl who thinks the world revolves around her, and the former, well, I think we can only speculate what this song's about. To heavier songs like the disappearance of Hatsune Miku and Rolling Girl, the first song being about how Hatsune Miku is inevitably going to be erased and is desperately trying to sing as much as she can, absolutely tearing through words, making syllables nearly incomprehensible in an effort to say everything she can before her time is up. Even if unintentional, I think there is a connection to human mortality and the fear of not doing enough before you die in this song. The second song is about the self-destructive tendencies painful experiences can bring. A common interpretation of the song is that it follows a girl who
Is the
took her
instrumental
own life.
copyrighted, my man?
These are
I'm
just
guessing the
4
instrumental is
songs
copyrighted,
in
my
the
man.
thousands
Am I
that people
afraid?
can hear and form a connection to Hatsune Miku with
Yeah, I'm
and
afraid.
carry as a part of
The mic's not.
themselves. And being able to see a character everywhere that makes you feel understood as countless people use her to speak their experiences, that is genuinely incredible. But sometimes there's a character that is a part of you, but maybe they aren't like you. Maybe there's a quality they have that sticks with you, that makes you see life and yourself in a different way. Sometimes a character isn't like you, but makes you realize who you want to become. To go back to
every
Hattori
character.
Goto, there are a lot of introverts who may get nervous being suddenly approached or horribly misread a situation when eyes are on them. This is one of the more recognizable aspects of the
You
main
have to watch
character of
Boshi,
Lady
bro.
Rock, and was also the way I introduced her earlier in the video. While these qualities are true, Hattori will still get on stage with her bandmates to play the songs they created together. She puts in the hard work to not only perform well, but to put herself in an environment where people are watching her. all while the idea of talking to people is almost overwhelming. This battle she fights against her very own nature, while entertaining, is in no simpler words inspiring. And it is fantastic that the plot of a story as simple as an introverted girl getting out of her comfort zone to go after her dream is so inspirational. So inspirational, in fact, that you can find people who started progressing their own passion
Anyone started learning guitar because of this show? No.
for music in these communities dedicated to Bocchi the Rock. A lot of inspiring characters have one of the most admirable
Smash. This is probably a 14-year-old child, though.
traits a person can
Knowing
have, which is
anime.
perseverance. No matter what you want in life, there's an obstacle to overcome, and sometimes that obstacle may just feel a little too high. What a fictional character can do is have a goal that the accompanying set of obstacles just seems outright insurmountable. In Black Clover, the main character Asta wants to be the Wizard King, the captain of the Magic Knights, a position only gained through sheer magical ability that would grant our main character status in the kingdom he lives in's monarchy.
But
and
he
while
is
that
the main character,
already
so...
quite the challenge, as practically speaking, anyone who wants to gun for the title has a shot at earning it. What makes it conceptually impossible is that Asta literally has no magic in a world and hierarchy that only has room for people who do exactly what our lead character cannot. However, it is through sheer force.
I mean, you can take that to an absurdity. I mean, the Harry Potter guy, Mash. Bro is just him. I mean, yeah, that is a comedic anime. But bro is just him. Big fiction.
Of determination and being the only person who can use anti-magic in a world dependent on magic.
And now isn't that a bit of a cheat, my friend?
That Asta is easily one of the strongest characters in the series and probably one of the better applicants for the position. Even though it's obviously fictional, even though the writer's always going to give Asta a solution to climb the ladder a little bit more, it is inspiring to see a character have every reason to give up, facing absolute
it's inspiring to have a character have every reason to give up, but he's broken. So he wins because he's broken, and the writer is on his side. I mean, it is inspiring. It doesn't feel good.
Possibility and simply say, I'm not done yet. The willpower to continue fighting is what cultivates inspiration. It makes your own personal obstacles either look smaller or motivates you to overcome your own brand of impossible. Social anxiety won't stop you from performing on stage when you realize it's not this enormous, out-of-reach thing, especially if someone like Asa can overcome his own ineptitude in a world literally built against him.
In a world built against him, but he has an advantage to bring down that world. The same with the Naruto thing, bro. I have a bone to pick with Naruto being the outcast and the underdog in the story. Bro was broken from birth. He was the son of a broken motherfucker being taught by other pretty much broken motherfuckers in the story. Had the strongest of the 9 demons in him, and bro was the underdog. Bro was the underdog in the story. He was always punching up. He didn't have no advantages. The world was against him. Fuck that, bro.
Keeping that in mind, standing on stage isn't so scary after all. An inspiration like this can come in all shapes and sizes, like not holding on to grudges after watching Thorfinn denounce his violent urges for revenge, vowing that he has no enemies. Maybe you have a comparable motivation, like wanting to try harder after watching the characters in Blue Lock, a series where a cast of soccer players metaphorically cannibalize each other in order to be the best.
Yeah.
And you become infected by Yoichi Isagi's toxic determination. It could even be subconscious, like seeing how much of a bad hand Spider-Man gets dealt in every piece of media he's in, but he still uses his resource and power to help the people around him. Having a fictional character who inspires you can shift how you simply see everyday life. Their journey can hit you at your core, and maybe something that you used to consider inconceivable because of your own limitations can actually be started today. Hell, I'm sure despite people more than likely not being able to turn Super Saiyan, Dragon Ball has filled gyms with giving people motivation to start a fitness journey. And if the search results that come up under Dragon Ball Z workout or any
the point is, motherfuckers will train to do that Kamehameha one day, even though they know they can't, but they train to be able to do it one day. They train to be a Super Saiyan.
That isn't a small number. Being able to look at who you are, who you want to be, or what you want to do while just watching a show, playing a game, reading a book, it can very well change your life. The world feels so much less daunting.
Up to a point again, it becomes dangerous when you get lost in those worlds and you live only in your head and in those worlds. Because it's good when you take something from the story, from the character, and inspiration, and actually apply it. But that's easier said than done.
Because even if you aren't trying to be the king of all magic users without the ability to use magic, seeing a character that gets nervous like you, makes you want to be kind, or makes you want to work harder, it's just so cool. It makes you feel...
Why be kind though? Because it's free to be kind, but it's also free to be a hater. Why not make the world interesting? Why not be that villain in the story? Because everyone needs a villain in a story. Why won't you be that villain in someone's story? Motivate people. Go out there. Be that out of this world character that someone needs to motivate themselves. Be that villain in the story. You can do it.
A little bit more understood by the world. But that's not the
There is
only
a
power
moth
a fictional
stuck
character can have on you.
between the
They not
window
only make
and
you
the
feel understood
window
and
covers.
seen, but also make
Bro
you
is
understand the world
doing
around
something.
you. Your brain can process fictional characters like they're yourself, but the other half of that coin is that they file under the same category as friends or family. To explain what this is leading to, let me first tell you what a parasocial relationship is. I started reading Sakamoto Days last year, and I
Parasocial
liked it quite a
relationships.
bit. Published in Weekly Shonen Jump, following a former assassin turned convenience store owner, which if you've ever worked customer service, you know that tends to be the other way around. The story has such incredible action set pieces where different people in a secret assassination industry tear through their environments trying to take each other down. Well, that is a fantastic reason to stick around. I read every week because of my favorite character, Akira Akao. While fully capable in her own right to perform right
Bro has a type.
alongside these natural disaster turned killing machines,
Yes, a type.
she is more so an absolute anxiety-filled mess of a person that one more inconvenience or surprise may very well just turn her into a puddle. I don't really relate to her as I can't stow a parachute while falling from an exploding plane, and I can't say she's particularly inspiring as I'm more than capable of having my own panic attacks. It was a personal experience that created a bond with Akira. I want her to be plot relevant, I want things to go well for her.
Wow,
arc.
I thought she would be blonde. She is not blonde. I am hereby. Is the camera dead? Why is the camera dead? What? There is a fly on the camera. How long is bro been there? What?
I care about this fictional character, these lines on a paper that are to be interpreted as a person because, well,
I
she
thought she would
reminds
be
me of
blonde.
my D&D character. Mavis, like Akira, can fight to the death a hell of a lot better than she can present a school project to her class,
Bro,
which makes
he's
for
a
really
D&D character.
interesting and engaging encounters. I mean, I enjoy it so much that she ended up becoming my YouTube mascot.
You derived
I mean,
you derived that from this?
I enjoy it so much that she ended up becoming my YouTube mascot.
Yeah, I can see it.
Now, when I
I
see
can see it.
Akira, I see Mavis and all the fun I had with her, and vice versa. A real experience and a personal preference made me care about a character in a way that's pretty similar to finding out someone has the same hobby as you. To address the elephant in the room, there are some really awful connotations of the term as it is typically used alongside celebrities and internet personalities who don't want everyone that enjoys what they do to consider them a friend.
Yeah.
But the phenomenon itself is not inherently bad, especially when placed in strictly fictional media. You
Oh, even then it can be dangerous. Even if it's placed in a purely fictional media, bro. Believe me, it can be fucking dangerous. You don't want to go that deep.
aren't weird for forming some form of friendship with any of the characters on screen. You're acting exactly how the author wanted you to. Anytime you feel happy for a character's victory, sad for them when they experience heartbreak, or dread a tragedy that you know is coming, that is some form of bond at work. If there wasn't an attachment, you wouldn't feel real emotions when seeing
Freeran was pick and JJK was mid. Believe it or not.
their story unfold. And this experience isn't limited to only people who take anime or novels too seriously. Chances are a video game has made you feel this exact way too. A favorite video game character doesn't just become a part of your identity the same way a main or virtual mascot does. The nature of video games being interactive mediums means that any form of bond can run much deeper due to the level of
I have to
interactivity
play
that
a
goes
near
into
game,
the
bro.
experience.
I have to.
Persona is a game series with over 25 million lifetime copies sold and has Metacritic scores that would place it in high honors if we were treating these like grades.
Yeah.
The latest 3 installments are half about exploring some other supernatural world, whether that be through a TV, a phone app that manifests corrupt desires, or our world distorting itself during a secret 25th hour. The other half is how you manage your social life with a limited amount of in-game time slots.
Oh yeah, the whole 360. I don't know how long, but the day aspect of Persona, bro, hit me. And for Persona 3, I forgot to save and wiped 3 hours of progress. I was angry.
While there are gameplay benefits, at least in the 5th game, the main reason you pick social links to progress is almost purely based on your personal preference. If you don't go into the other world, you get 2 time slots a day to either use to make yourself more socially desirable or to spend time with people your character is forming a bond with. So it's up to you whose story you as a protagonist see resolved. Want to see what really happens when that guy actually asked out his teacher? Want to see the first person who showed you kindness to get back on his track team?
That's the reason why I don't actually want to get into those games. That's the reason why I haven't finished Cyberpunk yet. Because I want to see everything. I want to explore everything. And I get annoyed when I don't explore everything. Every side street, every random side character. I get annoyed when I don't see that. And I feel if I progress further, I am locked from doing something else. I know that's bad, but fuck gaming.
The Persona series puts you in a blank canvas with suggested characteristics not only to make you more immersed and connected to the avatar you'll be piloting, but also because the character-based experience comes from bonding with these people. It's all up to you and what you yourself want to do, as without your direct choices, you don't get to see the conclusion of a character's arc. And because of those choices, your playthrough becomes a little more unique each time you play. When you choose to spend your time with one character, you are essentially losing out any other person in the cast. You are picking what bonds you are nurturing and what relationships you are locking away.
Through the games.
Going even further, romance mechanics in games are a more elevated version of this. Romancing a character provides very little gameplay benefits no matter who you romance in the grand majority of games. It is not a choice that will make your game any easier or harder, but what it will do is make your journey as your character all the more personal to you. We see this in games like Baldur's Gate 3. No matter the character, the imagined backstory of a custom avatar, or the pre-written and established plot of a Dark Urge, they all start the same. And despite the other choices left in my wake, the one that said the most about me and my character was the time spent bonding with one of the party members, Shadowheart. I do not know what any other companion's ending looks like, but my journey through this game concluded with the character I myself chose to end it with. And while for both Baldur's Gate 3 and Persona, these are just additional systems that are meant to make you more immersed and give you a break from the primary offerings of the game.
But that's largely what matters to me, how the story is progressing and where it ends. The gameplay is neither here nor there. I get frustrated during gameplay. The story is what's keeping me there and what's preventing me from actually playing the game. It sucks.
Otome games and other dating simulators are all about getting to know characters as a central mechanic. While Persona, you can really min-max your time like a little freak and see everything, even at a cost. Visual novels have entire storylines called routes that tell different narratives based on who you want to get to know or romance. The game is literally asking you which stories you want to see and what content you are deciding to go without. This assumes that visual novel fans don't play every route to see every story, and also assumes visual novels don't make stories that require a playthrough of every route to know the full.
Haha! I got you there. The only visual novel I can remember playing in recent memory is Everlasting Flowers, and that had one pet, and it was fun. The translation was shit. I still think I have screenshots of the dumb translation, but it was good. I liked it. It was pretty much nothing burger at the end, but I like it.
Picture. Please do not make this assumption. This is a fool's assumption. Having this one-sided dynamic with a character can be fantastic, as it truly lets the story hook into your soul and gives you something to carry with you. I care no matter the depth, exists. Of course,
Can you actually save her on the first playthrough? I don't remember. I don't think you can save her on the first playthrough.
it doesn't have to say something deep about you on a
And to be honest, no one, absolutely no one went with her on the first playthrough. Everyone went with Yuri.
psychological or neurological level every time you have a favorite character. One of my favorite characters is Shogo Makishima from Psycho-Pass. Someone whose entire thing is not feeling bad about
Haven't
killing in a
watched.
world that claims it can detect if you are willing to commit a crime and then punishes you as if you did. I like him for his on-screen charisma and the way he turns the story into his own narrative of rebellion, fighting against a corrupt system of his own brand of corruption. He's far from being like me, and I also probably wouldn't want to hang out with him either because he's kind of literally evil. Satoru Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen isn't evil, but he's also one of my favorite characters for reasons that aren't that deep and personal.
Because he's Gojo, man. Because he's Gojo. That's why he's your favorite. Because he's Gojo. Is he your favorite character because he's Satoru Gojo, or is he Satoru Gojo because he is your favorite character?
Sometimes you can like a character just because they're cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that deep, but it's
Too bad he was so broken. He had to be written off of the story, man. Everyone glazed him, though. Everyone fucking glazed him.
beautiful that it can be. Fictional characters are a powerful vehicle that can make you understand yourself and others better, make you feel less lonely, or deliver a message. When I started researching this idea for a video, I thought it was going to be a little romp where you can have a different favorite character for different reasons. Maybe you relate to one, you think one is cool, maybe you're traditionally attracted to one. But the
Yeah. But bro stopped coping. You aren't allowed to comment about this. Everything I'm doing is commenting about that. Bro has a type.
But the more I researched, the more I talked to my friends, the more I explored this topic, which somehow led me to papers on neurological studies and essays about the importance of the world not treating people like an oddity. I think I have a grasp on just how
I'm so mad that I'm fucking dyslexic and I can't read more than a page, bro. If I could, believe me, I would sit down and read psychological studies and whatever and go down rabbit holes. I just physically can't. And I
powerful
can,
the answer to
but
the
it takes
question
way
I
too
asked
much
at the
effort.
start is. There is such a beautiful light to the fact that simple words on a page, drawings on a screen, a 3D model puppeteer to move like a person, or an actor dressed up to look a little less real can have such a profound effect on us. So much so that our brain tells us that we are either experiencing the actions of another person or seeing a reflection of ourselves. I may not know why your favorite character is your favorite character, but now I know why mine is.
That was a nice video. Bro has a type. Bro sounds like and Venom too much though.